Hello everyone. I'm now going to be talking about how we can use the concept of 22 Shrutis in modern day music production and technology. I'm now going to be showing you all how we can use the concept of 22 Shrutis in music production. I'm going to be using a software called Logic Pro to emulate this. Do keep in mind that most synthesizers, samplers, and music production softwares these days come with their own tuning and temperament adjustments that you can use. Right now, I have a Logic session with a synthesizer and a piano track. To adjust the temperament of the project, we have to go to the File menu, and then to Project Settings, and to the Tuning option. Now we see a pop-up menu that shows us different options for tunings and temperaments. By default, the project is always set to Equi-tempered. Logic also has plenty of options for various different kinds of tunings from all over the world, but we're going to set it manually using the user option. There are two main settings in the user option. The first being the keyboard with different scent adjustments for each note. And we also have the root key option that tells us which key we are in. Basically, the root key option is the sa. In order to keep things very simple, I'm just going to keep the sa at C. So let's assume the raga that I'm going to be playing is Hamsadhwani. These are the notes of the raga, and these are the scent adjustments per note that we need to make in order to ensure that every note is in the right Shruti. Later in this chapter, I shall be telling you how I arrived at these numbers. The first note of our raga is a sa, which is C in this case. I'm going to leave that at 0. The second note of our raga, which is a D in Western notation and the higher re in Indian notation, this has to be tuned up by 4 cents. The ga has to be tuned down by 14 cents. This would be an E. The pa, or the fifth, which is a G in the scale of C, has to be tuned up by 2 cents. And the ni, the higher ni, has to be tuned down by 12 cents, and this is the B. I'm not going to be tuning any of the other notes as I wouldn't be playing them anyway. Now we have tuned Logic according to the raga Hamsadhwani, and I'm going to be playing a bit of the raga for you all. So let's start by playing the Hamsadhwani scale in both temperaments. Let's start with equal temperament. Now let's listen to the same thing with the adjusted temperament where all the notes play at the right Shrutis. The difference at the moment might seem extremely slight, but I'm going to play the chords C and G major that are both part of the scale to make things more obvious to you. Let's hear the chords first in equal temperament. And now let's hear the same thing with the adjusted temperament. In case you missed it, I'm going to be playing both chords again. So the chords when played in the adjusted temperament sound a lot more harmonized and natural. This is because the harmonics of the notes or the frequencies of the notes are mathematically in line with each other. I'm now going to be playing a short and simple tune in the raga Hamsadhwani in both temperaments just so that you can identify the difference between them. I'm now going to be repeating that with the adjusted temperament, where all the notes are at the right Shrutis. one really cool feature in Logic is that when you change your scale, for example, when you change it from C to D, it automatically adjusts the temperament for you. So, for example, if I'm on F, F is your sa, then it changes the other notes accordingly. So that's a really cool feature you can remember. One thing you have to remember though is that these changes only affect Logic's built-in plugins or the native plugins on Logic Pro. In order to change things on third-party plugins, you will have to go to the tuning and temperament settings of each plugin individually. I'm now going to be showing you how I figure out the scent adjustments for each raga. Over here I have a phone with the app 22 Shrutis and 500 Ragas open. When I open the app, it asks me what scale I want to select or what sa I am in. I'm going to select C. Now it shows me a page where I can play scales in either equal temperament or in Indian temperament. But what I really want to access is the list of ragas where I can see the temperament for each raga. The next page features a list of 500 ragas to select from, and I'm going to be playing Charukeshi later on, so let's go ahead and select the raga Charukeshi. I now have the option to either select the equal temperament scale or the 22 Shruti scale. I'm going to go ahead and go to the 22 Shrutis option. Now it takes me to a page where I have the notes of the raga in the right Shrutis mapped out on the screen. My next step would be to look at the chart that tells me the scent adjustments that need to be made for each Shruti. On the left of my screen is the 22 Shruti scent adjustment chart. I will have to look at this chart to tell me what adjustments to make to the temperament so that each swara plays at the right Shruti. Now as you can see on the right, I can see the notes of Charukeshi, which is the sa, re 2, ga 1, ma 1. And what I have to do is I have to match the notes on the right to the adjustments on the left on a software like Logic Pro or any instrument that I'm using, electronic instrument, on the tuning and temperament adjustment function. I shall be playing a bit of Charukeshi later on, so we shall get back to this chart and see how I make these adjustments. A lot of modern day instruments these days have features to adjust for different tunings and temperaments. Right now I'm going to be showing you how I play Indian music on an app called GeoShred, and I'm also going to be showing you how I adjust for the temperament in order to ensure that all the notes play at the right Shrutis. So this is an app called GeoShred, and I've been using this app to play Indian music for quite a while. To give you a brief idea of how this app works, there are a lot of boxes on the screen. Each box represents a different music note. The orange boxes represent your root note, which is your sa, and all of the other boxes, the blue boxes, represent the notes of the scale. Right now I'm tuned to a major scale, so if I play only the boxes, I can also slide from note to note. So left to right is lower to higher, and as I go higher vertically, it increases in pitch. One interesting thing about this app that you can really tell the difference between temperaments. So right now, if I play sa, ga and pa, by default the app is tuned to equal temperament, but if I play these notes together, it sounds like that. But now if I change the temperament, and if I play these same notes together, it's a lot more clear and the notes seem a lot more harmonized. So right now I'm on the page in the app where you can do changes to the scale and temperament. In the top here we have the different notes of the scale that are highlighted. So we have the first, we have the minor second, the major second, minor third, major third, and so on. So these are the Western notes, the equivalent of sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. And over here we have the scent adjustments for each note. Right now I'm going to be tuning to the raga Charukeshi. So I'm going to be first selecting the notes that are part of the raga, And over here, I'm going to adjust the temperament of each note. So these are the notes for which I need to make scent adjustments for in the Raga Charukeshi. Now I'm going to go back to the chart that we looked at earlier in this chapter, and I'm going to see what exactly are the adjustments that we need to make so that I can make them using the options that I have on this app. On the left of the screen, we have the 22 Shruti scent adjustment chart. This chart shows us how many scents we'll have to add or subtract to an equal tempered scale to ensure that all of the notes are playing at the right pitch. On the right side of the screen, we have a screenshot from the 22 Shrutis app that we were talking about earlier. The screenshot shows us the notes of the Raga Charukeshi and the right Shrutis we have to use for the Raga. So to make things easier for us, I'm only going to have the Shrutis that we need for the Raga on the left hand side. Now all that we have to do right now is to add or subtract the appropriate amount of scents to each interval so that we make sure that the scale plays all of the notes of Charukeshi at the right pitch. Now let's go back to the screenshot of the app, keeping these values in mind. So these are the notes that we need to make adjustments for. So let's change the values underneath these notes to the corresponding values of the notes that we saw in the chart earlier. So I have now made the necessary changes to the tuning in order to ensure that whatever I play plays at the right Shruti according to the chart on the 22 Shrutis app. Now that the tuning has been adjusted, let me play the notes of the Charukeshi Raga in ascending and descending order. So right now I'm going to be playing a short piece in the Raga Charukeshi. So that brings us to the end of the last chapter of this video on 22 Shrutis. We hope you're able to use and appreciate this ancient knowledge in the music that you create and listen to. Thank you.